Today we're going to make this expanding panel card, which is great not only for this anniversary card, but for graduations and birthdays. Hi, I'm Lisa Curcio, and I'd love to welcome you here to Lisa's Stamp Studio. As I mentioned, in addition to the card I shared with you, I have several other samples to include graduation and birthday, and I changed the orientation on one of those cards. You'll be able to find the pictures, cutting dimensions, and supplies for all three cards. It's linked down in the video description for you below. All right, we're ready? Let's get started. The card is going to be comprised of three pieces. There are two pieces of like colored cardstock. This is fresh freesia. They're each measuring 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. They're going to make up the front and the back of the card. Then there's another piece that's going to be for the expanding panel. This is measuring 3 3/4 by 11. I'm going to recommend that you work on the front panel of the card first while it's flat. I have a piece of basic white cardstock here, and I pulled out this adorable bear image from one of my favorite stamp sets. This is called Valentine Kisses. Now, while the title might be leading towards Valentine's Day, I have used this for all types of cards. It makes great baby cards. It makes great all occasion cards. It makes great miss you cards. I've even made tooth fairy cards out of this with the wings. It has coordinating dies, which are great accessories to the stamp pieces as well. I'm going to be using the Tuxedo Black Memento ink, and I've got my bear image here. Let's go ahead and ink him up, and we're going to stamp that here. Here in the corner, I've got the floral image, and we're going to stamp that here. I have one that's already colored for you, but I want to talk you through a little bit of shading here on the bear, and I want to talk you through what I did here for the muzzle. I used light petal pink Stampin' Blends markers. If you're looking for these labels, you'll be able to find them on my website under Shop Digital Downloads, and they're dual-ended, so you can use either the chisel tip or the brush tip, whatever you're comfortable with. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to color in the muzzle with that light petal pink. I'm also going to color in the inside of the ears. I'm now switching over to the Ivory Stampin' Blends marker, and we're going to go right over that light petal pink. I chose to use the Pecan Pie Stampin' Blends markers for the bear itself. And of course, you can use any color that you'd like for your bear. They come in the combo, which is both the light and the dark. It doesn't matter which one you use first. It's entirely up to you. For this one, I'm going to start with the dark. Using the brush tip, I'm going to add a little dark in a few areas. I'm working underneath the muzzle and around the top and the bottom of the paws. I'm also going to add some more color here near the bottom. The great thing about Stampin' Blends markers is they are buildable, so you can come back and add more color if you desire. The alcohol base of the markers should evaporate before you lay down more color, because if you add too much saturation to the cardstock, it's going to tend to blend outside of the stamped image. This is now the light shade. I'm just going to demonstrate here in the bottom. But what I did is I used small circular motions to blend the dark into the light. I'm not even concerned about covering the entire area because some white areas are going to lend credence to highlighting. Right here around the arms, I did the exact same thing, and of course under the muzzle. I colored the flowers, and I die cut those ahead of time using the coordinating dies that I already showed you. So I have the bear and the flowers here. One of the things I absolutely love about the dies is you're going to notice that it creates a slit at the top and the bottom so that you can use the accessory pieces in the stamp set to tuck items in his arms. I'm going to take the floral image, I'm going to come down the top where the slit is, and I'm going to weave it here through the bottom. I'm going to leave a little bit of that covering his muzzle to make it look a little bit more realistic. Here at the top, I'm gently going to bend that. I'm going to add a little bit of liquid glue here to secure that in place, and then I'm going to press it here on my silicone craft sheet. Liquid glue, hot glue, and adhesive will not stick to this. Now that we have the image already, let's come back here to the piece that we're using for the front of the card. I started with a piece of designer series paper from Lovely and Beautiful and double-sided. Look at those gorgeous metallic finishes. This is going to be my wrong side for this specific card, and we're going to add some liquid glue around the outside perimeter. This now is going to get adhered here, leaving a small margin all the way around. As I mentioned, we're going to want to do this while it's flat, so I decided to add some more layers to this. The next thing I want to do is I want to add some ribbon before I add the next layer. This is a beautiful basic white cotton ribbon. It's very, very flexible. I'm going to slip this over the top of the cardstock, and I'm going to make sure that my tails are all the way on the right-hand side. While the backside is typically not visible, I find that if you use a little bit of liquid glue, glue dots, or even adhesive to help hold it in place, this next step is a lot easier. I'm going to lift this and I'm going to add a little bit of liquid glue right here in the center. I'm going to take the ribbon and I'm going to attach that to the liquid glue. Allow that a few seconds to dry and I'm going to flip this over. I am going to tie a bow to the far right side. So I'm going to turn this and I'm going to make my single tie on this card and I'm going to turn it this way horizontally to make it easier for my hand. And then I'm going to make my bow. Pull the bow very, very tight. And if you're like me, you're going to have loops that are uneven. So here's a great tip for you. Either press or pinch the knot and then use the opposite loose end and just pull. That's going to allow you to resize the loops to get them exactly where you want them. Once you're happy with it, give it one more tug in place and then you'll have it exactly how you wanted it. From here, I'm going to come in with my scissors and we're just going to create nice ends for this bow. My next step is going to be using some vellum. Now, oftentimes vellum with an embossing folder, which is what I'm going to use, can create deep creases in the vellum that actually tears it. This is the Lazy Daisy 3D embossing folder, and you'll see that it's quite thick. It's going to leave a deep impression, so guaranteed it's going to create some stress points in the vellum and actually rip the outside edges. So what I'm going to do is a 2-for-1. I've got a piece of basic white cardstock here measuring the exact same size, and we're going to use both of these. I'm going to place them down inside the embossing folder. We'll close this, and then we're going to run this through the embossing machine. I've just embossed it, and I'm going to open this up, and you're going to be able to see that these two pieces are now almost one. I'm going to carefully remove the vellum piece from the top, and you're going to notice that there is no ripping. You get that beautiful embossed image without any destruction to the vellum. But I've also got this great piece of basic white cardstock. Coming back here to the silicone craft sheet, I'm going to lay the vellum right on top. I've got my mirror image, which I'm going to place here. Ahead of time, I used the exact same stamp set, and I stamped a sentiment from the stamp set. I'm going to flip this upside down. I'm going to grab some of my dimensionals, and we're going to make sure we have these well balanced for the back side of here. You want to make sure that they're going to come through the mail meter at the post office, not leaving your card all unbalanced and wonky when it comes out of the envelope. I've removed the paper backings, and now I'm just visually going to look where I'm going to want the greeting. So about 2/3 of the way down. We'll take the bare image and we're going to flip that upside down, and we're going to add extra dimensionals. With the dimensionals well balanced on the back side, I'm going to use the Take Your Pick tool with that paper piercing tool attachment once again to remove those paper backings. This image now is going to get housed right here at the top of the greeting. With the dimensionals in place, it now gives you an opportunity to know where to place the adhesive, the glue, or in this case, dimensionals, so that it will not show through the front of the vellum. You can see that it's already elevated by the dimensionals that are there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take additional ones because I want this layer raised, and I'm going to try to offset this as much as I possibly can so that I'm going to have them not double stacked right on top of each other. I just find that that works better for balancing when it goes through the mail. From the front side, you should be able to see no dimensionals peeking through the vellum. Once you're satisfied, go ahead and remove those paper backings. Coming back here to the front of the card, we are going to take the vellum now and we are going to situate this centered here to the left side of the ribbon. What we're going to do now is we're going to work on the expanding panel. I've got my paper trimmer here, and this is the expanding panel. Again, 3 3/4 by 11. You're going to do 2 very simple score lines. The first one is at 5 inches. I'm going to use that light blade, which is for scoring. I love that both the scoring and the cutting blade stay right here on the clear track, and they navigate up and down out of the way. You don't have to take them off. I'm going to open up the extendable arm, and I'm now going to navigate over to 10 inches. I'm making sure that it's nice and straight here across the top of the trimmer along that ledge, and then we're going to score. You'll have 2 score lines. There's one here near the center and another one here near the top. Take this and I want you to fold it in half on that score line. Now is a good time to check to make sure those edges are nice and aligned. This here at the top is going to fold back on top of itself. So it's going to be a mountain fold, and then go over it with the bone folder. When you're finished, it should look like this. This area here is where the liquid glue is going to go. So once again, this area is folded up at the bottom and the flap is facing towards you. I want you to pivot it with the edges tucked to the back. What you're going to do is center this so that you have a nice border all the way around on the back side. You're going to see that my bow now is here on the left. You're going to flip this over, and when you open up the top panel, the card is going to expand. Remember this piece of embossed white cardstock? When I open up the card, I'm going to adhere it here to the top panel. This leaves you lots of opportunities to decorate. You can use more designer series paper. It leaves extra room for more signatures, which is great for birthday, retirement cards, cards for people in the office. Because this has a lot of deep embossed areas, I'm being very liberal with the glue. This now will get adhered here. I have another strip of designer series paper that matches the one that we've used on the front. This piece is 3/4 of an inch, and I'm going to add some liquid glue here to the back side. That now is going to get adhered here to the very bottom of this cardstock. I'll put my silicone craft sheet underneath it. It'll keep my work surface nice and clean, looking to align the sides and the top and bottom. I'm going to fold this under just so it'll fit inside your camera view. And my last step is to stamp the inside sentiment. I'm using the coordinating Fresh Freesia ink pad. I'm going to be using Reason to Celebrate. I love that you can mix and match the pieces to create custom phrases. I'm starting with the word anniversary, and I'll ink that up in the Fresh Freesia ink. That will get stamped here. I've then got the word happy, and we'll ink that up as well. That'll get stamped right above it. We'll go ahead and close that up, and now we're going to add our embellishment. The one inside your project sheet uses the rainbow adhesive back dots, and I'm completely out of the Fresh Freesia color. So I wanted to problem solve, and this is a great idea for you. If you have rhinestones or pearls that are just plain and simple, you can custom color them to match your projects. I'm going to be using the Fresh Freesia alcohol-based Stampin' Blends marker. You're always going to want to use the chiseled or the blunt tip for this when you're coloring your embellishments. I'll take that chisel tip and I'm going to cover right over the rhinestone. Keep in mind that rhinestones and pearls are translucent, so even the darkest color of your blends may be very difficult to see the hue. So the tip I want to give to you is to choose the next darkest shade. In this case, it would be Highland Heather. Going right over this, I'm going to color it one more time. Even though the alcohol base of the first color is there, you're going to notice that it's a little bit more predominant now because of the dye difference in the color. Give those a few seconds for them to dry, and then you can come in with your Take Your Pick tool. They've got glue dots already on the back. I'll take one of them and I'm going to add them right down here to the bottom corner. I'll take one of the smaller ones, and that's going to go up here on an angle. And I'll take another one and place it up here on a slight diagonal. Our last step is to add this, the back of the card. Do not forget this step. What you're going to do is you're going to flip this upside down, and you're going to add your liquid glue or adhesive around the outside perimeter. With the glue in place, all I want you to do is mimic the top panel to the back panel. If necessary, pick it up, give it a tap to make sure that all the edges are perfectly aligned. Once it's all dry, you can go ahead and open it, and you'll see that the front and the back panels are attached, and it expands your card. Now let me share with you those other samples I created for you. This next one is for graduation, and I used the Cap and Gown stamp set. Since I didn't find coordinating designer series paper in my stash for the colors of the school that I wanted to create my card for, I created my own. I used shaded spruce for the base and darling duckling for this layer to match the University of South Florida here in Tampa. I stamped the small diplomas using the same color ink on top of the cardstock. Everyday Arches dies, stamped my images and my hat, created a small banner here, heat embossed the words, "Congratulations, graduate." All the images are from the same stamp set. But do you see the difference? This time the card is horizontal. Because I didn't have designer series paper and I thought it was a little bit plain, I took another layer of basic white cardstock. I stamped those same hats again in the Darling Duckling ink, added some more text here and a stamped diploma, and I have another amazing expanding panel card. Now I have one more for you. This next one will be for birthday using the Simply Beautiful stamps and the coordinating dies. Now I did take the birthday greeting from a different stamp set called Lovely Arrangements, and that's what I love about mixing and matching what we already own. It's a great way to expound on your purchases. That beautiful flower was colored using the same alcohol-based Stampin' Blends markers in different colors using Petal Pink and Calypso Coral. The designer series paper is also from Lovely and Beautiful, same package that we used here. Lots of different color options. The dies did all the work to cut out that beautiful image, and we have some very simple embellishments. This one expands. More room here for signatures or, of course, another sentiment. Designer series paper. I stamped and I die cut another flower and then added some more sentiment here. Lots of beautiful pizzazz with this card, but was really simple once I colored those beautiful flowers. Lots of choices for you, whether you want it portrait or landscape, vertical or horizontal. Choose your stamps and dies and then determine which layout is going to best fit it. As always, I'd love to know your favorite. Do me a favor and pop down in the comments and let me know. And which orientation do you favor? If you love fun fold cards as much as I do, you're going to want to know all about this. It's the online stamping retreat. It only happens 3 times a year, and right now everybody is hurrying to get on the wait list. And you might be wondering why. That's because everybody on the wait list is going to receive a $10 off coupon code to use when registration opens in just a few days on April 9th. My daughter Gina and I have partnered with Kylie Bertucci in Australia and her amazingly talented husband Bruno for the online stamping retreat. It is all fun fold cards. In addition to having lifetime access to all the content, here's a few things you're going to want to know about the event. It is live streamed, so we would love to have you interact with us live. That means in the live chat. You can stamp right along with us, or with lifetime access, you can come back and stamp at your own pace. You're going to receive a huge PDF tutorial booklet of 32 different projects, enough to keep you inspired for a whole year. Included, you'll find pictures, cutting dimensions, and step-by-step instructions. You'll have immediate access to the platform where you can get ready for the event and the excitement builds. Normally $45, but those on the wait list will only pay $35 with the reduced $10 off coupon code, and we would love to have you join us. People from all over the world will be there. In the US and in Europe and Canada, it will be on May 2nd. And if you live in Australia or New Zealand, that of course is May 3rd. We look forward to having you join us at onlinestampingretreat.com. There's lots of ways to support me here at Lisa Stamp Studio, including additional exclusive tutorials and memberships. You'll be able to find all that information linked down in the video description for you below, or head over to my website and click on the areas in the red menu bar. Before you go, make sure you check out these videos so I can keep you creating until I'm with you next time. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great day.